How's everybody doing? Uh, this is Jason Parsons, aka copyright 0808192. Coming back at you with kind of off the cuff with something freedom related. You know, that thing I'm always bugging about. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right to it. Okay. Let's start off with, got this guy here arguing with me, statute is not law. And I wanted to clear this up because we're really arguing two different points. It's two totally, now I've tried to explain this to him elsewhere in the thread and he just doesn't get it, and I'm hoping that this video, if he watches it, will get it, and even if he doesn't, that it will dispel the myth that he is trying to portray with his blog, which I've also got up here. So anyways, we got this guy's blog here. I'll give you the backstory. You know what we're arguing about, our statutes law. So he says, well, I wrote a blog. I mean, like, this makes him some kind of official or some shit. But anyways, Philip Marks here. Got a really creepy web address. Yeah, I don't have everything set up quite proper. I haven't used this stuff for about 6 months since before we moved. And so I've got it projecting the, or broadcasting the window only, not the whole desktop there, so it doesn't show you the web address I'm at. So there it is for you if you guys want to go here and see the stuff for yourself. All other web addresses relevant will be in the video, so as long as your monitor's working, you should be fine. Alright, let's get back to this. Let's get this weird ass address off there, man. Oh god, he's probably a liberal, man. That's probably the problem right there. Anyways, so I'm going to be rubbernecking because I got the second monitor over here. No studio setup, this is just my laptop and everything, so bear with me please. Anyways, and if you do want to get a hold of us, this is not live. This will just be, you know, recorded and then uploaded. But the caller text and the email is still relevant, so if you do want to get a hold of me, feel free. That is my public number. I have the ability to block anybody off from calling it, any number I want from calling it, so I don't care who has it. I've never been the scared or shy type. I will give you my home address. You can come see me, we can have dinner, you can start something, and I can show you what a man is. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. So anyways, open book here. Let's get on this. Oh, can you tell I haven't done this in a while? Really out of practice. So anyways, our statutes law, regulation code. Now, this question in and of itself is an oxymoron. It's got multiple answers that are all valid, okay? And I think this is the point where communication breaks down between me and Libtard up there, gay guy. Anyways, alright, so he's got some links here he think are relevant. Oh man, I didn't have the cursor active last time. You can see me going over the links, but you can't see the cursor. That means I gotta watch the screen, so again, I'll be rubbernecking. So anyways, to learn some of the basics about sovereign citizens and similar movements, this is all non-sequitur. Over time, people have challenged the credibility of my arguments and the credibility of many different governmental actions, because they are based on statutory provisions on statutes. This challenge takes the simple form of this statement: those are statutes, and statutes are not law. Okay, now, and both sides of this argument are guilty of this, but nobody really gets it. And that is, there's two answers. There's two correct answers. And it depends solely on context, how you're going to look at it. Now, I've tried to explain this, but people just don't want to listen. Okay, I don't know why. There's no shame in having been wrong if you were misinformed, as long as you're willing to listen and learn now. Okay? But pride before folly. Pride comes before folly. Yeah. Anyways, those statutes And statutes, those are statutes, and statutes are not law. Okay, now before we go any further, I'm going to say this. It depends on what. Let me put it another way. I don't want to get this wrong. Okay, basically, there's only a couple things can write law. Okay, creators and conquerors are the only things that can write law. Now, if you think about it, logically, technically, and at the very root, on a fundamental level, that is the only two things that can write law. Because the thing about it is law has to be enforceable. A creator can also be a destroyer, and there's the threat of impending doom for breaking the law. Okay? A tyrant, a conqueror, has already shown his physical ability to force you into submission, and thus can impose law upon you. That's it. Those are the only people that can write law. Now, one of the things that are against law is going against contracts. So if you agree to do something and break that, you're going against the law. So for anybody that wants to try to straw man off into that area, don't even bother. Okay, now. Well, not sure exactly where to go with this. I'm not used to rebutting people's web pages. This concept is widely circulated and fervently believed by those who need to believe it, and never more than by sovereign citizens. Okay, first of all, sovereign citizen is an oxymoron. If you were, and again, this is a contextual issue, because I know what you mean, and there's a lot of people that believe Webster's is the do-all end-all, and that sovereign citizens means free man. Okay, but if you look at the legal definitions, and I know what you're going to say about yeah, every legal definition that's been defined, somebody's tried to argue it somewhere else before, and they will again. And yes, nothing's set in stone. It's called legalese. It's meant to be confusing. It's meant to circumvent systems and confuse people into waiving their rights and everything else. And we all know this. It's just whether or not we're willing to be honest and admit it. So, anyways, back to the point. This concept. So, right there, I just got to nip the sovereign citizens in the bud. You're either sovereign, you're a king who has the right to own property and enter contract, or you are a citizen, and that means you are subject to a king, and you are his property, and thus have no rights but privileges, aka civil rights, as opposed to natural rights or God-granted or creator-granted rights. And again, only creators and conquerors can write law and grant rights. Okay, and I gave you the rationale and the logic behind that, and that they are the only ones that can enforce it. You must be dominated in some way, either by impending doom by something greater than you, or force from an otherwise superior force from an otherwise equal man. Those are the only two things that can uphold law. Yeah, so there's so many different directions and tangents I can go on with this, but I'm going to try to keep it just to this. So, after all, the basic theory of sovereign citizen, I don't even know how to read this correctly when he keeps using these asinine terms. But after all, the basic theory of sovereign citizen and their freemen and land fellow travelers is that they are only subject to that which they have agreed, which is a complete crock of shit. That's taking things completely out of context and cherry picking things that people have said to spin it into nothing but something that furthers your weird ass agenda. Okay, they undoubtedly have not agreed to the enacted statutes of most legislating bodies, nor would they choose to do so. Okay, this is how it is. We believe in the rule of law. We believe in where it comes from. And we believe that only people superior to us, not people that have been charged to serve us, can write our laws. Our laws existed before the United States, before any other nation currently on this planet. Our laws existed when the Creator made the first man. He instilled upon him this underlying sense of right and wrong, and it can be construed and interpreted accurately as do no harm. Plain and simple. Do whatever you want to. Just don't hurt nobody. So, I know that's a very rudimentary way to put it, but God, what other way can you put it? I've said it 10,000 ways. Get it through your heads. Anyways, after all, where are we at? They undoubtedly have agreed. So that's what it is. Statutes are laws for our creation, which is government, people contracted with government, corporations, and other entities that profit or otherwise want to use our resources. Okay, I'm getting tangent. Anyways, so that's what it comes down to. Statute is law. If, but only if, you have consented as part of government. Otherwise, it's the common law. But not strict common law. It's American common law. Now, our politicians have circumvented that common law by using the power granted to them to escape common law under certain situations. And I'm not going to, this is the kind of guy that says, prove it. Do your own fucking homework, dude. But anyways, it's such a deep subject. It's really hard to keep this simple. I need to go ahead and finish my book. Anyways, but let's get back to addressing this. So basically, yeah, we create government so we can write their laws. So yes, and we also regulate people being able to profit off of the depletion, damage, or even just plain annoyance of the public. That means if somebody's creating electricity with fossil fuels, well, yeah, we got a right to say something about what they're doing, man. In all reality, it's supposed to be a government infrastructure, and it's supposed to be ours. We're not supposed to be paying for electricity and shit, but we are supposed to be making rules for how the things are ran. That's what statutes were supposed to be for. Okay, they were never supposed to be applied to us. It's absurd, and all their safety and public health and those are all excuses because things have consistently gone downhill. And you know, the only thing that has consistently went right alongside that, more and more regulation, more and more rules, more and more restrictions on what we can do as free people. Just because some dumb fuck has a factory and spills some fucking caustic chemical, it's not a reason to blow it up in the fucking media and con everybody into thinking that, well, yeah, if you could control everybody into not being able to even engage in something that could happen like that, then everything could be better. No, that's not how it works, man. Somebody screws up, you punish them. You can't punish everybody just because of what could happen. That's a democracy. That is horrible. That is the biggest threat and the largest antithesis to a constitutional republic that could possibly exist. Our founders went so far out of their way to escape anything democratic that even the democratic process of elections was circumvented from its pitfalls with the Electoral College, which is also corrupt. And voting's corrupt, everything's corrupt. Anyways, let's get back to this. Tangent boy on a roll. I just got to tear this guy down, man, because he's got it all wrong. And this is going to get people hurt. This is going to get people killed because they're going to believe that cops are going to believe that they can apply statutes to us and drag us out of our fucking car because we decided to go 6 miles an hour faster than some man supposedly created equal to us declared that he thought was safe. Well, what if I don't think it's unsafe? What man is better than me to write law? See, that's the thing. Only creators and conquerors can write law. We were never conquered. That makes us, I'm pretty sure I'm right on this. I've never actually researched it, but thinking about what I know, I don't think there is any other nation on earth that's never been conquered. We are the only ones that's never been conquered. Our government was established, not acquired forcefully. Or by force, or you know what I mean. Oh, man. This gets me so riled up, man. How could these people really miss such an important... This is our freedom, people. This is the whole reason people left England and came over here and founded this place. Okay? They were tired of other men that were no better than they were making rules they had to follow. They already had a set of rules to follow. Don't kill people. Don't steal nothing. Don't mess around with people's wives. Don't beat people up. Don't scare people into doing things that they don't want to do. Common law. Common fucking sense. Law instilled in us, not on paper, but in our souls, in the form of right and wrong. We're self-governing. We make our own decisions and are held accountable in courts of justice, where when somebody's injured, they can make a claim and seek damages. Courts were never supposed to be used to fucking extort money out of us. Under statutes, man-made law. We're not trying to hurt anybody. We're not sitting there going around dealing drugs or stealing things and then trying to get out from under it. Saying, oh, I'm sovereign and that don't apply to me. That's not it. That's where your red herrings and your straw men's are. And those are not valid arguments. They're not. They have no substance and no base. Those are media hype and spin and government propaganda. That's all that is, to keep you subservient. To make you believe there's something wrong with us. For feeling the way we do. For wanting to be free. Ooh, crap. Attention breaker. Wow. Completely distracted me a little. I think this shit's driving me absolutely insane. Because I can't force people. I believe in the rule of law. I can't force anybody. I can't conquer them and make them understand. If you like what I'm saying, if you don't like what I'm saying, if you just want to say hi, the information's down there in the bottom right. If I'm not available, I won't answer. And if I'm broadcasting live, you can get on the air and say whatever the hell you want. I'll be doing that same. My studio stuff like that. We'll be rolling with some material. I hope this gives some people a little bit of insight on what law is. See, and that's the issue. Those are statutes, and statutes aren't law. That is both true and false. For things that the writers, for things we create, I don't know the best way to put this. Things we create, we can write law for. But things we create cannot write law for us. The whole intention of the line in the Declaration of Independence, all men created equal, was to denote, to exemplify, to express that nobody's better than anybody else, that we can't write rules for each other. We can only uphold, unless under contract. We can enter contracts. Buyer beware. But, yeah. So, he's right and wrong. The problem is he doesn't see the wrong part. He's denying the other half. And sovereign citizens, I hate saying, sovereign citizens do the same damn thing. They think that nothing a cop says to them, that there's no valid way you can get pulled over or hauled into court. Bullshit. If you fuck somebody up, yeah, they do have, sheriff's got jurisdiction upon, with warrant, upon oath or affirmation of an injured party to come get you and haul you into court, especially if you're not trying to go to court, you're refusing subpoenas and all that shit. If you've actually broken the law, go face your shit, man. But for God's sake, if you haven't broken the law, defend your freedom to the death, because it could be your death. One of the examples I made to him, and he hasn't replied since. I don't think he will, because some things I said, I kind of let him know that I'm not interested in talking to him at all. I don't give a shit about talking to people that aren't willing to listen, because I always am. If you can show me where I'm wrong, I have no problem whatsoever. I have a humble nature. I mean, you have to prove me wrong, but if you can, I mean, I'll eat it. I just wish more people were like that, because, man, this man, he says he helps people. Anyways, my example to him was this. Imagine you are driving in your car, and you don't notice, and you go 6 miles an hour over the speed limit. And in your rear view, you see a cop's lights, and you know that he's intending to motion you to pull over. So you pull over, looking at your side, in your rear view, see him get out of the car and put his hand on his gun. Yeah. He put his hand on his fucking gun and unsnapped his holster and stayed at the ready when he approached your vehicle. Now, I thought he was here to protect you, but I digress. He approaches your vehicle and he demands to see your papers. You've been arrested at this point. You are not free to leave. If you leave, he will try to kill you. Now, you got 2 choices. 3 choices. Comply. Obviously under duress, but the courts never see it that way, not the kangaroo courts anyways. Comply. Passively resist. Or violently resist. Number 3 is my choice, but I don't suggest most people do that. I've done 5 years in prison. I've sustained some pretty bad injuries. I've had to go on the run. It's turned my life upside down on more than one occasion. Anyway, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. This brings up a lot of stuff for me, stuff I've lived, and that it's really hard not to be insulted when these idiots think that they can read something that a man wrote And that is more valid than what I'm trying to tell them that I've experienced firsthand in my life. Let's address a couple more of these things and then I'll wrap this up. Like I said, there's no script or anything. This video was not planned. It was completely off the cuff. For many, that means laws must be voluntary. No. No. Laws are never voluntary. Laws are absolutely mandatory. It's just, who do those laws apply to? I've already told you what our laws apply, what wrote our laws, and who it applies to. It applies to everyone. Statutory law only applies to those people that have consented in one way or another, either by contracting with government, contracting with corporations, starting their own corporation, and they decide to incorporate government, getting a job, whatever. However, you sign something and agree to follow it. Now, for most people, that's a driver's license, car registration, birth certificate, social security card, blah, 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 etc., 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 etc. And they like to say ignorance is no excuse. And yeah, they want to hide the truth from you, but then they want to hold you accountable for not knowing, which is a complete crock of shit. So basically what it comes down to is statutory law is law we write for our creations of corporations that profit off the public. Our creations are the government that are supposed to protect our rights, police our streets. Well, not even police our streets, really. Where do police police in a police state? The whole fact that we're calling them police should be a fucking alarm clock. Wake the fuck up, people. Anyways, they may feel they are bound by law, for example, natural law, common law, but they don't want other laws, especially recent ones, and the ones they cannot unilaterally change or reject. No, we don't want the ones that don't apply to us. Man cannot write law for other man if we are created equal. Only somebody better than somebody else in some way, whether bested in a war or as the creator, someone that can control you, can write laws. That's it. It's common sense. And I can't pull up a case file that says that. No court is ever going to say that. They'd lose their hustle. At any rate, let's try to get through this. At any rate, it is always convenient to be able to say statutes are not law. The problem is statutes are laws. So what are laws? Straw man alert. Yeah, okay. Like I said, yes. According to the people that wrote this, that is, people that are either contracted and have otherwise committed themselves to be bound by those statutes, laws, whatever. I'm going to train of thought again. Should have. It's very dismal and disappointing for me, people. I mean, look what we've become. Like I said, they will pull you out of your vehicle and kill you if you go 6 miles an hour over the speed limit and refuse to comply with their unlawful orders. If you refuse to let them arrest you and take custody of you and search your property and charge you for breaking rules that don't even apply to you. Think about it. You're going down the road, 42 and a 35. City cop pulls you over. says license registration. Then you get to thinking, wait a minute, I didn't do nothing wrong. Why are you holding me here against my will? This is an arrest. Well, no, it's not. I'm detaining you for investigation. I witnessed you commit a crime. Oh, so you have a victim. No, no victim. Nobody got hurt. And it's very, very fucking likely nobody would have. There is nothing wrong with going faster than what some other man thinks is too fast. You can't restrict people because what might happen. You can't violate their right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness just because you're scared. Because you're scared they might shoot me. If you're that scared, dude, get a fucking gun. So at least you can shoot back. Because you can't tell them they can't have their fucking gun. That's how you get them to fucking shoot you. Try to take the fucking gun. Sovereigns are just people that want to live their lives in peace. That don't want to have to jump through fucking hoops. So a law is a rule that is binding, enforced, and one can be punished for not obeying. Yeah, I'll agree with that statement. Consider this consent must be given by the individual and not by a collective on behalf of the individual. This would be a dictatorship by the majority, aka democracy or mob rule. Yes, it would. Each individual must have the absolute right to give and withhold their consent. Yes. When it comes down to things that other men decide, yes. Democracy is the antithesis of liberty, and how you fucking libtards equate yourselves to Democrats, I will never know. Because it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Liberal, liberation, liberty, freedom, rights, unmolested, uninfringed, unhindered, or unencumbered. We have the right to do any damn thing we fucking want to as long as we don't do it to someone else or their property without their permission. AKA contract. And anybody that says otherwise can only do so out of one, fear. Fear of change or repercussion for standing up for themselves. Or two, the nefarious purpose of controlling people for their own personal gain and benefit. I challenge anybody to come up with an adequate argument against what I just said. There's no other reason to restrict somebody from doing whatever they want as long as they don't hurt anybody else. Let's get back to this. You're doing 6 miles an hour over the speed limit. You get pulled over. You roll your window down by the acorn. Cop says, roll your window all the way down. Say it's winter, it's cold, you don't want to. Let's say you're feeling froggy. Sir, it's pretty cold out there, I can hear you just fine. Roll your window down now or I'm going to break it. So you go ahead and roll your window down. License and registration. Have I committed a crime? Why do you think I pulled you over? A traffic question. I mean, we all know how this goes down. What it comes down to is if you don't do everything they say, if you don't give them your ID, they're going to drag you out of the car and haul you to jail. If you don't show them proof of registration and insurance, they're going to steal your fucking car. And if you do anything whatsoever to try to stop them, even though they're breaking the fucking law, they're breaking the law. The actual law, not a fucking statute. If you do anything against them, they'll try to kill you, man. You're wrong. What's your fucking name? Philip Marx, you stupid liberal faggot. You're wrong. You get people killed because their power lies in support and consent. And you're consenting. And there's too damn many of you, you lily-livered little bitches. You're fucking it all up. We were free. We were all kings. Our system brought us in only 200 years to be the premier superpower on this fucking planet. The most advanced, free society the world has ever known. We had wealth. We had happiness. We succeeded where all others for thousands of years have failed. And you're trying to change it. You're trying to break it, dumbass. And you say you're trying to help people. The road to hell is paved with good intentions, dummy. Let's see what else we got here. I gotta be about done, man. There is no proof offered. The problem is that if it takes 100% consent, it doesn't. You don't have to really consent to law. Law applies, period. Consent comes to engaging in a contract and following and being forced to follow those laws by choices you made. That's how you get locked into a contract. It's like being in prison. That's why I said buyer beware. Solution, don't enter fucking contracts. Live free. Be your own man. Just don't hurt anybody. Shouldn't have a problem, right? Annoyances aren't against the law. Unsafe. One, who is the true judge of unsafe? Because you can drown on a teaspoon of water. They're going to outlaw water. They haven't outlawed cars. And quite frankly, licensing people doesn't prevent accidents at all. In fact, and I do not have this to prove, but I believe it wholeheartedly and it makes a lot of sense. So I shouldn't say in fact. I believe, personally, and I think a lot of people would agree, that your unlicensed drivers, quote unquote on the drivers, that your unlicensed drivers are actively participating in driving more responsibly so they don't get caught. Whereas everyone else gets very complacent and very comfortable thinking that they're not doing anything wrong. They lose their alertness. They stop paying attention. You got some of them yammering on a fucking phone or maybe even driving with their knee trying to fucking hit buttons. Going down the fucking highway. License doesn't stop that. A license verifies that you know how to operate a motor vehicle. As far as they would have us believe. It's for our safety. Got to make sure they know how to drive. Well, fucktard. I've never met anybody whatsoever, that just jumped in a car and tried to drive it without somebody showing them what the fuck they were doing. And think about it. How complicated is driving if you're paying attention? In an automatic, one key, one lever, one steering wheel, one brake, one gas pedal. If you've ever played a video game and made it past the first fucking level, you can drive a fucking car. It's just a matter of how dedicated you are to being responsible, and that can't be regulated because you can't force that shit. You can't make sure somebody's responsible because things change. I can be responsible today and tomorrow say fuck it. You can test me for 50 fucking years and I can still change. So no amount of regulation, no amount of licensing, no amount of registration and restriction, no statute you write, no code you enforce will ever improve or increase the safety of anyone. All it will do is provide extra penalty when you violate it. Punishments for after fact. There's no proof offered. Nor do we have any process to assent or withhold assent as individuals. We have never held this as a legal tradition in our nation, and in fact, no society or government anywhere at any time in all human history has operated on that principle. None. First of all, unless you were a first-person witness to history from the inception of man, you can't make that statement with any factual or with any factuality at all. You don't know anything except for what some guy wrote down that could have been lying. First and foremost. Second, without having an actual understanding of what our founding fathers intended and what us sovereigns are trying to achieve again, your statement has no basis. You're saying what you think we are has never worked anywhere, anytime, da 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 da. You're right, but we're not what you think we are. You are the one that doesn't understand how it's supposed to work. You think the government is better. You think people are better somewhere, that something makes somebody better than everybody else, that what they say is more important. What they feel takes priority over what you feel. That's not created equal. We're supposed to be equal. Now granted, don't misconstrue this. Let's not get off on a tangent and some kind of argument about created equal versus equal results. See, the libtards always want fucking equal results without giving equal participation and equal work. That's not how it works. We'll never achieve equal results. But equality is, in the eyes of the law, we are all created equal. That means we all have the same rights, provided we do not commit a crime and lose some. You won't find a single court decision that ever said that. You won't find any legislative enactment, law or otherwise, that says that. No, of course you won't. Man can't write law. That includes legislators. They're never going to say that, well, you have the right to do this. You know why? Because they can't. And they know it. You think they can. And they word it so that you're convinced that they can. But funny words don't make facts, fucker. Legalese is a crock of shit. I understand it. I'm bored by it. But I had to learn to speak it just to communicate with these jackboot fucks. You won't even find that idea written about before the 1970s. Let me go out on a limb and just totally alienate a large portion of the potential audience by going conspiracy nut and saying, there's a lot of things you ain't going to see, man. These people do not want to give up their power. Their ill-gotten, under color of law, power. They've got everybody convinced that they can do whatever they want, that they're not going to be held accountable, but we have to do what they say. No. No, 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 no. 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 The legislative power is the power to make laws. Yes and no. Depends on who you're talking about. They can make laws as per our expressed consent and granted authority for our servants, for corporations, for all the people I've already mentioned. But they can't for us. It's both true and false. There's not enough in that sentence to be one or the other. Point of clarity. Objection. Point of clarity. I'm done. I've made my point. Is statute law? Yes and no. It depends on who you ask. It depends on who you're trying to apply it to. But I'll leave you with this one more time. If all men are created equal, what man is better than every other and gifted with the authority to control all the other men? It's a logical fallacy. It can't exist. The two things cannot exist. Either we're created equal and all bound under God's law except for those under contract. The people that agree, that consent to man-made laws. Or someone is better than you and me and everybody else. So much better that they're allowed to tell us what the fuck to do, even if we're not doing something wrong. It's Jason Parsons, aka copyright 08081972, signing out. You guys take care. Be vigilant. See you next time.